relative to our perspective, right?
Lower in position. So the cardiac stomach is kind of puffy looking.
It's closer to the table, not
It's
farther
closer
back.
to the mouth. It's closer to the mouth. And this thin membrane is your pyloric stomach, which is attached to your pyloric CK.
Okay.
So cardiac, when we refer to stomach, cardiac usually refers to the first part of the stomach, and pylorus is the last part of the stomach. So you look at your stomach, the part that's attached to the esophagus is called a cardiac section of your stomach. And the part that's attached to your intestine is called a pylorus. So remember that pyloric sphincter at the small intestine? It's named because it's attached to that part of the stomach. So anytime you hear those terms, it's referring to the stomach. Okay? So now you pulled off this. This, you can see the texture and color of that pyloric CK is kind of yellowish, kind of mustard yellow, a more translucent color here. So this is very different, right? It's a different tissue altogether, and this is your gonads. Location should be, you can see where it came out. It's actually underneath, came out from underneath that pyloric CK.
That's it?
What's their size? You got to cut more into it. Digestive structures. Right? So the arms actually house a lot of the digestive structures. So underneath, you see a very different color and texture structure.
Those are the gonads.
Those are the gonads.
And that's it? That's all of it?
Well, then there's other structures here too. You have this ridge here that runs the length. And let me remove this out of the way. You see it runs the length of the arm. And you notice on both sides of that ridge, there's these little bubbles. Okay? So if you look at the cross-section of the arm, and you see this later when you cut a cross-section of the arm, but look at the picture there. There's a ridge there. What's the ridge called?
The
ambulacral ridge, right? So on either side are these little bubbles. What are those bubbles? Ampulla. So imagine something that looks like a pipette. So the bulb is the ampulla, and the 2 feet is the tube in the pipette. Okay, so the ampulla actually can contract to push water into it and basically cause the little 2 feet to extend. And then there's muscle to retract them. So that's what you're seeing. You're seeing a whole bunch of ampulla on top of those 2 feet. Okay. And so those ampullas are connected to a radial canal that's embedded inside this structure. So you're really not going to see it until you
do a cross section
into the arm.
Okay.
Little thing right here, just on the bottom of that ridge.
Yeah.
And then on either side you see 2 feet.
What is it?
The 2 feet.
2 feet.
And at the end of each one, you see there's a little depression, so that's a little suction cup.
Okay.
So what's happening is if you push water into the 2 feet, you can extend it out. And you can also flatten out that suction cup so it doesn't attach to the surface. Right? So if you pull water out, you're actually causing a suction by warping that or bowling up that 2 feet. So they're using water to move the 2 feet, but also to have that suction action as well.
Okay.
Are the grooves in the canal the same thing?
No, the canal is part of the water vascular system. The groove is where you find all the little 2 feet. Okay. So the groove is a location. The canal
is a structure.
Is the actual structure.
So there's what is it? Where is this? The Hemel Canal.
You're not going to see that; it's too tiny.
Okay.
But you should know it parallels the water vascular system. It's organized in the very same way.
Okay. All right. I think that's